Hi, my name's Ian and welcome back to my Peugeot Boxer camper van build. Today this is episode 6 in the build, and since the last video I've been quite busy building quite a number of things, which I'll show you in a minute. Also I've been playing around with the electrics, which has been quite a fun game. But what we'll do, we'll just jump straight into the videos that I've made already, and then I'll come back to you at the end with an update. Thanks a lot. So the van on this horrible, dull and dismal day has absolutely thrown it down outside, so I've taken the opportunity to build up the unit for the cooker, so the cooker housing sort of quadrant. The manufacturer's instructions aren't the best for actually building the unit itself. They're pretty pathetic to say the least. The other thing I've been doing as well is just sort of having a bit of a scratch my head around this, how we're going to build the unit for the fridge as well. It's going to come down the other way. I have to excuse the mess in here a little bit. It's got loads of stuff in here and I'm tripping over everything at the moment. But yeah, sort of fridge, I'm thinking about sitting it there. Only thing is, just need to make sure I need to find some way of stopping it from moving, because it doesn't actually come with any brackets at all for mounting it to the floor. So to do that, the piece of wood that's just sort of leant up against the side of the cooker housing here is just a bit of spare that's ready for the fridge. But yeah, that's the cooker housing itself. Just down below here, it's going to have a big either a cupboard in here. I'm thinking either a drawer or just like a drop down door instead. This is going to be the pots and pans all to go in, but I'm sort of favouring the idea of a drawer at the moment, so I have to scratch my head on how I'm going to build that. But so the cooker itself is just sat in position. Obviously I've still got the worktop to mount around it, so the actual the cooker lifts up by about another 15mm higher than what it is now, and it sort of hangs on this flange. It's all around the edge going down there. The other thing we've done as well, I've just ordered, the other day ordered some tiles as well to go on this area between the carpet, above and below the window, and just to the end of where the plywood is as well. So that's where we are now. Just a little update from the last video. Just been building the frame for the seat, which will be at the dining end of the van. I ran a pressure test on the boiler the other day, so that was all good. There was no leaks anywhere on there, which was fantastic. Just put in the Sergeant unit, it's just held in with a couple of screws at the moment, and just put all the connections in there. And as you can see, we have a spaghetti junction. Thankfully I think I know where most of this stuff goes, so tomorrow's job is to start the wiring, so that'll be a bit of fun. So yeah, that's where we are now. Just a short update from the last video that we've done. I've now installed the fridge into position, made the cabinet for it. It was a bit of a ball ache to do, and trying to get the fridge in there and hold it all in place. But I must say, by getting this flange or frame to go around the outside of it has worked really well in to help to get it all nice and solid, so it doesn't move about. The whole of the actual outside unit that I've made is all bolted down to the screwed down to the floor. So that's not going to go anywhere. And then obviously I'm going to link it across to the unit just the other side. The job tomorrow then is to put the worktop in, get that cut to size, and then get the sink installed and the hob installed as well. What else have I been up to? A bit dark down the centre of the van, so excuse the mess. And the other thing I've been doing, like you can see it too well, is wiring there. Right, over the last few days I've been building the kitchen up. I think in the last video I mentioned that I was going to start fitting the worktop. Well, I did that yesterday. Bit fiddly, but just took my time over it, and well, the weather was absolutely freezing yesterday as well, which didn't help. But yeah, got there in the end. Sink's fitted. The tap is fitted in position. We've just got to plumb that up, which I'll be doing in a bit. The cooker is just in there loose at the moment because I've got to pull it back out again to connect the 12-volt electrics up to it, and also connect the gas supply to it as well, which I'll probably be doing that again today. What else have I been doing? Wiring, started the wiring. This is going to be in the garage area, so all my connections are down, and I'll actually sit the battery box probably somewhere down in this area as well. And then I'm also going to run some electrics over on this side as well. You can see there's a couple of cables coming out, and then I'm then going to link the negatives together. I've actually got a backing board that's going to come straight across between these two cabinets here, so that'll actually block it off and obviously into the bed area, which will then have a pull down door on it as well to create a bit more storage. But all the electrics basically for getting to the connections and that will all be in the garage. And the other thing I've done as well is I've put a little 240 volt socket in there as well, so I can actually have my trickle charger plugged in permanently on that as well, so I can keep the battery topped up when it's not in use. Before, I mean, eventually I'm going to get a solar panel, but that's going to come a bit later on. Just spending a bit too much in the van. We want to really get the van to the point of being able to use it. Hopefully when we get out of this lockdown, maybe in a couple of months' time when we get into the summer, it'd be nice to be able to use it. What else have we been doing? Oh, yeah, got these little strip lights in just underneath here now. They're little LEDs. Also got one on the other side there as well, and then eventually I'll have one down underneath the kitchen unit, and also underneath the units in the dining area, which has actually been taken out at the moment and just needed some to make some access there. So yeah, it's probably today a bit of a mixture of plumbing, electrics, and a bit of gas work as well, I think. So yeah, that's sort of where we are then. Just plumbed up the tap now. I've not got the waste in the sink, hence the bubble in the drainer there. But what I've done is just pressure tested the system. Now I've plumbed the tap in, so a bit of running water. And also just literally just connected up the shower hose as well, just so we know there's water coming out of there as well. It's flowing there, and draining away. I'll say this, I've got two drain holes in here, and the left hand one seems to be draining slower than the right hand one. It could be to do with the way the van's sitting at the moment. It is actually on a slight angle more to the right than to the left, so that could be part of the reason for it. Oops. The camera the right way so you can focus on it. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I had to do a little bit of jigging around with the pipe work the other day down just in front of the boiler here when I created my little cupboard. The red and the blue pipe were sticking out a little bit, so I've actually reduced them back. So again, by doing the pressure test on there, at least I know they're not leaking either. So if we were leaking, the pump would be kicking in and out like a yo-yo, which it's not, so it's good news. So yeah, it's good news there. Cheers. Alright, just a little update. We have light at last. It's only sort of temporarily mocked up at the moment, so just got the battery connected up to it. But yeah, we are cooking. We have light. There's the light switch for that one there. And that's the one for the skylight. And obviously then we've just got the little spot lamps, little individual on-off switches. But yes, we have power. Fantastic. One other thing I've been doing today is I've just made up this little splashback, really, I suppose is what you call it. I'll just take it off, it's only rested on there at the moment. But for these sliding blinds, you have to cut out quite a bit, I say not quite a bit, just a bit of space at the back there, just to allow for the blind to slide itself. But obviously I'd like to cut the worktop out, but obviously that's caused an issue with the fact that we could have water running down the back, if a bit overzealous with the washing up, the drying up, etc. So yeah, I just made this splashback. It'll just slide down there. Obviously it's going to need to be screwed in from the back, and obviously with an elastic seal around it just to make sure it's all nice and watertight. Obviously down the bottom here I've still got all that to finish off yet. I've got to get some tile backer board, I think is what I'm going to use to go over the top of that plywood, and then we've got some like glass tiles that's going to go over the top of that, so that should look quite nice when it's done. Step down from the step down there. That's the back of the cupboard at the moment. So we've got some vent holes in for the the back of the fridge, just to allow for some air to go in there. So we've still got the covers to put on there yet, but I might end up painting the back of this splashback. Not quite sure yet, but I've got some edging strip that came with the worktop, which I'll run over the top of the slope, and then also down the edge, and back around the other side. It's got a little bit to do at the end there, so it's getting a bit dark outside in there, so excuse the light conditions, but yeah, that's what the plan is anyway. And the other half's seen it and she quite likes it as well, which is always good news. So yeah. Right, so that's where we are at this moment in time. Got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Please subscribe, and see you next time in the next episode. Cheers.